Hello and welcome to another engaging weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for joining us. As the Atlantic hurricane season kicked off on June 1, did you know that Jamaica is well prepared with over 900 designated shelters? Stay with us as we journey through the pages of today's magazine.
The Joint Select Committee of Parliament reviewing the Domestic Violence Act wants to hear from you. Review the Act and share your opinions with the committee. You can find a copy of the Act on the Parliament's website at www.japarliament.gov.jm under the heading Publications. Once you've reviewed the Act, submit your written opinions by Friday, June 14, 2024 to Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or email them at clark@japarliament.gov.jm. Let your voice be heard.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let us take a look at the hurricane preparedness efforts by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development.
We are now putting in place the necessary early warning systems. In Port Maria, new sophisticated early warning systems. 15 systems have been put in place in Port Maria that will alert that town to any danger that is on the horizon. The two telecommunication firms in the country confirmed their commitments to work with the ADPEM to provide a messaging system for Jamaicans on their phones. You'll be able to get live notices on your phone. We would have already put in place all the necessary radios in their various locations. The Jamaica Fire Brigade, the police, every arm of government is equipped to communicate before and after. Our shelters will be fully activated, and all that is required is for us to hope and pray that we are spared any major disaster this year.
Throughout this program, the ADPEM seeks to ensure a constant stream of emergency supplies, inclusive of relief items, emergency response supply items. These readily available response to emergencies and disasters such as flooding and earthquake. Many schools are used as shelters, and they should leave it when they leave in the same condition that they would have gone into or better. So we take care of the facilities and ensure that we are leaving the schools in proper condition for our children who use it on a regular basis.
In terms of taking care of our school plant, we have had, some experiences, negative experiences over the years, but we know that it is not the general desire of persons to destroy what is here. We just want to remind you, however, that we need our plant to be available for our children after the disaster would have passed. So if you do come, we are, of course, expecting that you are going to treat it as you would treat your own home.
It would be unfortunate if the shelter managers are forced to evict anyone for violating the protocols that is set. And let me be frank with you right now. It's time now we become more responsible. So I am expecting that nobody will attempt to cook in the shelters, because that is not going to happen. This government, since 2016, have made arrangements that once the shelters are occupied, we will provide food supplies for persons within the shelters. So the rules that are laid out are clear. It is written all over the board. I am pretty sure that the persons coming to the shelters will abide by these protocols. I have no doubt that they will. But if they break the rules, then the shelter managers have that responsibility to restore law and order.
We will continue to keep the public abreast as to where will be the most vulnerable areas for us to activate shelters. And those shelters that are activated will also be published through our social media and the general media channels.
Your safety and security continue to be our priority. We are seeing a downward trend in major crimes, and we are investing $650 million in technology improvement for our police force to provide greater coverage across Jamaica by 2028.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Beach cleanups continue to highlight the grim reality of plastic pollution along our shorelines. As part of the continuing effort to reduce plastic pollution, the next phase of the plastic ban is set to take effect on July 1. In the meantime, dedicated volunteers, along with the Jamaica Environment Trust, continue their efforts to remove garbage from our shorelines.
The Palisades Strip is where a lot of the garbage that is discarded in the gullies, the streets, the drains of Kingston ends up. So there's a heavy rainfall and it floats across the harbour and it winds up on the Palisades Strip. So every year, this strip is where we're getting tons and tons of garbage. So, it's really an important site for raising awareness of what's happening in the streets of Kingston.
My incentive really is to get to a point where our behaviors are changed at the source so that plastics don't end up on the beach in the first place. So really I want to see those volumes go down because our practices have become healthier and cleaner as a people, so that throughout the year, it's not just one day we come in and clean up the beach, but throughout the year our beaches are kept clean. And if we sell in our brochures Paradise, which is basically, powder white sand beaches, sunshine year-round, turquoise blue waters, crystal clear as well, cascading waterfalls, those are all the things that we sell. And in any kind of service industry, you're supposed to exceed your customers' expectations. That means when your customers come and experience it, the last thing you want to do is have them see garbage on those natural blessings that we receive.
Every year, we have groups coming to us, "Whoa, you will never guess what I found." Like they find a mannequin. Somebody told me they found an iron, and it's all like a huge surprise to some people. And, it's often the first time people are really seeing face to face where this garbage is going and what kind of garbage is in the environment. You name it. If it doesn't break down in the environment naturally, we're going to find it on International Coastal Cleanup Day.
I think it's very positive from a branding standpoint. The fact that we are so socially responsible, so environmentally responsible as a nation, I believe that's very positive for our brand for tourism.
From my perspective, I think it's actually a good thing because when you're passing the garrisons and the gullies, you see a lot of plastics in the gutter and styrofoam. So I think it's a good move.
This comes like something that I would always want. Yes, I don't believe in plastic. I believe in preserving the ozone layer. We have to reduce carbon footprint and keep Jamaica green.
We buy our bags, or more than one-use bags from the supermarket. Some of them weak, but we still, use them because they're biodegradable. You understand? So I support it 100%. Just not dirty up Jamaica. We need to set a different mindset, We need to have a different mindset as it relates to Jamaica and cleaning Jamaica. If you go to other countries, developing and developed countries, you know, they manage their trash fairly well, especially like the coastlines and the beaches and so on, because they're disciplined, right? And Jamaica need to break that mentality of they're not being watched, so just throw the garbage somewhere, somebody's gonna clean it up.
Managing quite well. However, when you're hungry and you need to get something in the supermarket, well, you have to carry it in your hand.
Well, it was hard at first. We always knew we wanted to reduce our intake of plastics, but actually having to do it, I'm not going to lie, it has been a challenge, but it's a worthwhile one. So I only use paper straws. I have my recyclable bottles, so I buy water by the 5-gallon and I go around and refill it. So I try to reduce plastic as much as possible.
It was rough at first, but I've been getting accustomed to it, using the paper bags, going to the supermarket or ordering from a restaurant. But yeah, I'm glad the ban, it seems to be going quite well in a sense. People are getting accustomed to see more paper bags being used and the place is being cleaned more.
The millennials more so than the non-millennials. So yeah, I think the millennials are more conscious of what is going on around us with the not only the oceans but the climate as well. So I think we've grown up always hearing, oh, that polar ice caps are melting and so forth and so forth. So we know of the dangers of our environments and what's happening.
On campus, we have recycling bins and so forth. So we do try to recycle, but it's not the norm. It's something that it's still taboo, so only a few people really do recycle. So you have recycling bins here and then general disposal, and you still have persons throwing plastic bottles in there. So it's something that we're still not practicing as yet, and it's important that we do.
We need to translate it from beach cleanup to not dirtying up Jamaica. It's not just about cleaning up the beach, you know, it's about managing our garbage all year round in a better way. Next year, we're hoping that we'll see an even further reduction in the amount of garbage that we're picking up, because we're having the deposit refund scheme for plastic bottles coming, and the styrofoam as well will also, you know, be out of the picture. So we're really looking forward to a day when ICC is not necessary anymore. We're not there yet, but you know, as we take these steps as a nation, you know, to raise awareness, to improve legislation and regulations as it relates to solid waste, you know, we're hoping that that really does make a change.
Yes, walk right over there and drop it in the bin. Reuse that wastewater from your kitchen for the garden. Get your hands dirty and plant a tree. Farmers, hold off on the pesticides, especially near our rivers. Do your part to protect our watersheds so we can preserve the source of our drinking water. Every act to protect our watersheds counts. Start now.
Meet the street fairies, handling tons of waste each day. Let's take a look at their vital role, their challenges, and the importance of proper waste disposal.
Once upon a time, in a land far away from a fairy tale, were a people who lived the way you and I do, but a little differently. Much like the shoemaker and the elves, these street fairies don't leave beautiful pairs of shoes behind, but their art shares some similarities, and it's nonetheless worthy of recognition.
Good night, Dana Anderson, shovel user, shovel and drum, clean up Jamaica.
I'm working in the company 8 years now. I like the job, keep the place tidy and clean.
They always say to me, say, this is not a woman's work, but a woman has to do what a woman has to do, eh? You have to work for yours, eh? Nobody ain't gonna give you nothing, so you have to work for it.
Yeah, enough of the woman they work hard and plenty of the man them. I get used to my work still, and some of feel not different from the man them. At the end of the day, I will bread where I work for. So any work for woman. Woman do man work nowadays.
I'm all right with my work. Yeah, I can provide for myself, my nephew, my niece. my child. She don't really like it. Like me there out here, you know, she rather me there with she, but I have to make ends meet. I have to work, I have to pay my bills them. But they don't give me nothing, I have to work my own. But people that see me and want to style me and this, because I try to chuck work me do and them thing there. But I don't really watch my face. Because I know, say, when my money enough, you see me?
I want to burn fire upon this whole foolishness that people talk from time to time about. If they don't litter, people don't get work.
Yeah, that's what them say some my time. But them can do better still. Plenty of them can do better still.
Enough of them like we, enough don't like we, because sometimes we have to do there with all the truck like all that, so now them don't say, when we move from there, say, don't thinking truck and them things, but we don't care about that. That's our work.
When you litter, you waste the resource of your country. You make life more difficult for yourself and your fellow men. And you destroy the aesthetic, the beauty of our country that we boast about so much.
We are cleaning up Jamaica. And without cleaning up not Jamaica, wiper, disease and germs are broke out. So everybody who work with solid waste, important people them. All are important.
Differently from the sweeper them, we don't like the garbage bag up and we go through it more easier for it. More time we come out and have to wait on the sweeper them like on the just seat right now. We have to wait till the street sweep up, but if it's bag up, it's more easier for it.
Just the fact that you are generating solid waste, I ask you to just take some time to package it properly so that it gives us more ease of cleaning. And it also helps the side men, side women. They are human beings too. Their job is already very difficult. Don't make it more difficult for them by giving them extra work to do. It is very tough on them. The job is difficult. You know, it's not just about lifting things put in a truck, but some of the things they encounter out here, bags with human feces, that's common occurrence, especially in the market district. The smell of urine is everywhere and it's in the solid waste that they're picking up. All sort of meat cuttings, fish bone, fish back, fish gut, just about anything that people don't want. And they have to pick it up. They have to face it.
A certain time at the night, when we reach certain hours at the night, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, gunman can't strike and we have to run left the garbage some of the time and all them things then. And come back around and take it up, see, because we cannot leave it. See me, we cannot leave it. And we don't like them keep Jamaica beauty and clean.
Well, I stay out of them way, and I'm not really go for them though, I still think them happen, you know. I just stay by myself, each time I look a corner.
And yet, despite the tough nature of the job, these people show up not just for work, but they show up and work.
We're backbone of the company, you know. Who clean the rubbish and my backbone, we're the most important people in the company. How we clean up work, enough mess and good rubbish, bad rubbish, all different kind of rubbish.
I believe deep in my heart that if you talk about heroes and heroines, our sidemen and sidewomen are right up there with any because of the human service that they provide and in very tough circumstances to keep Jamaica clean. Day after day, night after night, they are out and about, they roll up the sleeve, and notwithstanding all that they have to face, their head is down and they are going relentlessly in pursuit of that clean Jamaica. I laud them, I lift my hat to them. They are good people. I just hope that more and more people will see them for who they are. People who are there to safeguard the health of the nation. They are the NSWMA. Without them, we are nothing.
Yeah, I love my work. I love it. I love clean the shovel.
I really get me use a night time in
And as sunbeams break the night sky and the stars and moon bid their goodbye, the city smiles.
of how Jamaican adolescents use social media? What do they do online? What do they post? Do you know if they are being harassed? These are questions you should be asking yourself because it is your duty to keep your children safe online. Parents, here's what you need to do. Be active online and offline. Help your child to set up his or her online profile. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the different social media applications that they use and set some rules. Protect our nation's children and save them from cybercriminal attacks.
Girls can do it too. Up next, to explore careers in science, zooming in on the responsibilities of a scientific research officer.
Science is an essential cornerstone in the creation of a modern society.
As the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology pursues its mission to increase the popularization of science in schools, we're highlighting one of the many careers that one can undertake in this field. Nuclear science involves applying nuclear techniques to investigate and study different fields. Here in Jamaica, nuclear techniques have been applied to conduct studies in areas such as agriculture, health, and climate change. Unfortunately, the field of nuclear science is largely male-dominated, but there are females out there who have been doing great work and have solidified their space.
I work in the nuclear analytical lab. I started out in engineering and transitioned into this field, so it wasn't exactly on my radar. I wasn't told about it in high school, and it wasn't something I knew really existed per se, which is what we're trying to change here, to get people aware that there is this field that exists and is actually here. So I had the privilege of seeing an opening and I applied. I love projects. I love investigating. For me specifically, I love marine and atmospheric studies, which is how I use nuclear science to investigate the marine environment and urban air quality. It's been fun. No 2 days are the same, which works for me. And it definitely requires passion and interest because the field is constantly changing. There's always something new to learn, while there are things that are established. Like in science in general, science also continues to present new information, and that new information can change how you do certain things or maybe how you look at future projects. So it requires that you constantly read. It requires that you're constantly open to really, understanding why is it that you're doing what you're doing and how it actually can help solve the bigger picture, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Science in general is a male-dominated field. It's for sure, that is exactly how it is. It's why the UN has the International Day for Women and Girls in Science, to encourage the changing of that situation. Personally, I've never really been daunted by the fact that it's male-dominated because it's something that I'm interested in, so I pursued it irrespective of that position. And so I'd encourage girls not to look at the fact that it's mostly men. Look at it as, okay, since it's mostly men, I will find my place. You can find, for everybody in this field, you can find your place and to learn from them. The men that I work with here are incredible. They teach you, they are open to, helping you to learn and to understand. And for me, who was transitioning from another career into nuclear science, something that I didn't study in my undergrad, they were pivotal in helping me to understand how to do things. I didn't have a female in this lab to work with. So males can be allies as well. So it doesn't have to be a male versus female thing. I think it's just to stay open. Don't get discouraged. I wasn't a huge fan of chemistry in high school, and yet a lot of my job has to do with chemistry. But I think things change, sometimes it's the teacher that you're exposed to, sometimes it's just a stage in your life. You might prefer a particular subject, but don't feel daunted by the task at all. Just still pursue what you are interested in.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit. Shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
We know you want better roads in your towns and communities. That is why through the SPARK program, your government is allocating over $40 billion over 2 years to fix your community and rural roads. $20 billion will go towards fixing smaller roads in every area, with $150 million allocated per area. The remaining funds will be distributed based on road length and condition, ensuring areas with greater need receive more assistance. Your government is caring for you.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
As we draw the curtains on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we hope you found value in exploring hurricane preparedness and effective waste management. Do join us again tomorrow for more enlightening features. Stay in touch by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm, and connecting with us on social media. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson, wishing you a fantastic weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.